welcome to a power-packed edition of the Property News on Magic Bricks Now, India's first property channel. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Exclusive number one, the Maharashtra CM proposes a tax on vacant land that could discourage land banking and push developers to make more affordable homes for you in the Mumbai metropolitan region. Chief Minister Fadnavis also promises easier norms and speedy approvals in a meeting with developer body Naredco. Exclusive number two, Pharma major GSK scraps its Thane land auction, looks to jointly develop it instead. Industry biggies like the Lodha Group, K. Raheja Corp, Oberoi Realty and Piramal Realty queue up for what promises to be a mega deal. And Bengaluru-based NGO Janagraha alleges misappropriation of taxpayers' money, says Bengaluru civic bodies are not managing your money well. Magic Bricks Now finds out how infrastructure projects will be hit. Also on the show, we get you the man who pulled off India's first and most successful attempt at land pooling. Catch Magic Bricks Now editor Faye D'Souza in conversation with Satish Magar, the chairman and managing director of Magadpatta Township, Pune, on the concrete dialogues. Straight up to a Magic Bricks Now exclusive. Now, the Maharashtra government has proposed a tax on open, unused plots of land in a bid to increase the supply of affordable homes in the state. This tax will progressively come down once the developer starts construction on the plot. In a meeting with developer body Naredco, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis announced a host of proposals that seek to speed up approvals for small home projects. Ruchi Deshpande gets us exclusive details.
The Maharashtra government is leaving no stone unturned when it comes to boosting the supply of affordable housing in the state. In a meeting chaired by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, along with developmental bodies like MMRDA, as well as builder bodies like Naredco, the Chief Minister made a host of announcements to speed up this process of approval for affordable housing. The most noteworthy amongst them is the fact that he wants to propose a tax on vacant land in the areas under the KDMC, that is Kalyan Dombivli Municipal Corporation, as well as the MMR, that is Mumbai Metropolitan Region. The motive behind this is the fact that currently there is no tax on vacant lands as yet. There is tax once the construction starts, but this is basically being done so that the developers go in as an incentive and build more houses, so that the tax progressively keeps going down as the construction keeps going forward. In addition to this, Devendra Fadnavis also announced that there will be easier norms for buildings of a certain height. There will be easier norms to convert non-agricultural lands into residential zones. He also wants simpler environmental clearances, and the Environment Department will get back to the Chief Minister on this with simpler reforms in a matter of just 2 months. It will be also after 2 months that the same groups will reconvene in order to decide what action can be taken on this on ground. And remember that Naredco is the body that has been appointed by Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis in order to head this initiative.
But the question we're asking is, will this move get developers to make more small homes? We caught up with Pankaj Kapoor, MD License for us earlier today, who tells us how the proposed tax levy on vacant land will impact affordable housing.
If you look at most of the progressive geography, those who have solved their urban problem and especially the housing shortage problem and all those things, they needed to really make their geographies more productive. Unlike, in India, other places, the land has to be productive, whether it is urban or in the agriculture sector, and especially in the urban sector, because land is finite and it's due or best use should really undertake or should happen. Most of the times what happens in India, that the people purchase the land and they live on to it and they trade on the land, and it really creates a very high value of the land, and that value actually becomes detrimental for a development because it does not interact to the affordability of the people. The moment tax comes, it will help in moderating the land cost. And if the builder has to consume the land within a stipulated period of time, then they'll have to bring the economy in such a manner that they get that kind of sales velocity. So, what happens, the luxury houses and the bigger houses sell slower. If you have a product which is suiting to the need and affordability of the people, there is no dearth of the demand. That's what you see, that MHADA comes up with the lottery of 4,000 flat, and they get close to 1,50,000 applications. There's no dearth of the demand. What will happen if you ensure the timeline for the development? If you start penalizing the people for procrastination and sitting on the land and then live on the wealth effects of land, or people will, the moment people stop parking their black money into the land, you will find the efficiency in the land price. Most of the time it happens the houses also gets developed as per price setting. It's very difficult where the prices are 30,000, 40,000 rupees, which is island city. The demand for smaller houses will ever be, because the one who can afford to give you 40,000 rupees per square feet, his needs does not really gets unfolded in 300 square feet. So it's like that most of the affordable housing happens where the price are below 7,000 or 8,000 bracket, and which frankly speaking in the current urban setting it's far away in the peripheries of the cities, which is beyond Greater Mumbai. It is more into Thana, Navi Mumbai, extended western and central suburbs.
Moving on to another Magic Bricks Now exclusive, pharma major GSK will not auction its 60-acre Thane land parcel as we reported earlier. Instead, the company is looking at jointly developing the land with the developer. Magic Bricks now learns that marquee developers like the Lodha Group, K. Raheja Corp, Oberoi Realty and Piramal Realty are in the running to clinch this deal. Disha Shah, who's been tracking this deal very, very closely, gets us this exclusive.
Deal is underway as the pharma company GSK is now looking to close a joint development or JD for its 60-acre land parcel in Thane. Remember, the company was first supposed to auction this land first, but now we learn exclusively here at Magic Bricks Now that the company is now looking at joint development, and there are top developers already like the Lodha Group, Piramal Realty, Oberoi Realty, K. Raheja Corp, and even few Thane-based developers who are eyeing for that land. Now, the reason behind GSK opting out or backing out of the auction is because of the Urban Ceiling Act, where the company has to pay 1/3 of its sale proceeds to the state as a charge to sell that land to any developer. So hence the company has now decided to take that JD route, and in fact that route will also dent valuation a bit. In fact, market watchers also tell Magic Bricks Now that this will get lower bids from players, and GSK could hope to earn close to 1,400 crore rupees from the land. However, with this deal, GSK will also have additional advantage of regular income over and above this from revenue sharing arrangements. And lastly, industry sources also tell us that this deal could be signed as early as by October this year. In fact, Magic Bricks Now also did get in touch with GSK and the companies that I mentioned, but as we speak, none of them responded to our email queries. This is Disha Shah from Magic Bricks Now.
Well, that's one deal that we'll keep a very close watch on here on Magic Bricks Now. Moving on, the Maharashtra Housing and Area Development Authority, or MHADA as it's commonly known, has announced its lottery for 2016. Over 900 houses are up for grabs, but home buyers and activists in the maximum city are miffed. Why? Here's a report.
MHADA announced its latest housing lottery on Wednesday, June 22, via an advertisement in the major dailies. What's interesting about this auction is the fact that the housing body has reserved flats for MPs and MLAs in the state. 19 flats have been reserved for sitting or former MPs and MLAs. 13 of these reserved apartments fall in the economically weaker section, lower income group and middle income group categories. This move has drawn flack from homebuyers and activists who are questioning MHADA's move to allot low-cost flats to MLAs and MPs, many of whom are well off. RTI activist Anil Galgali is one of the activists who has shot off a letter to CM Fadnavis in this regard.
पूरा एक महीना अभी भी सरकार और म्हाडा के पास है, क्योंकि पूरी तरह से अभी फॉर्म जमा नहीं हुए हैं। तो हमारी सरकार से यही कोशिश है कि इसी लॉटरी में उन 19 घरों को अलग किया जाए और वो घर अल्प और जो अत्यल्प, जो LIG और जो लोअर इनकम ग्रुप के लोगों के लिए आवंटित किए जाए। निश्चित तौर पर 2-4 दिन में इसके ऊपर प्रतिशत मिलने की संभावना है।
Activists are hopeful that since the lottery is only at the application stage, something concrete could be done on the ground within the next few days. Nearly 972 flats are up for grabs in the 2016 lottery. Applications will be open till July 25. Homes located at Malvani and Malad are amongst the cheapest homes on offer with a price tag of 8.17 lakh rupees. On the other hand, two homes at Shailendra Nagar and Dahisar are the most expensive of the lot with a price tag of 83.86 lakh rupees. Homes are also up for grabs at Goregaon, Borivali, Pavai, Sayan, Chembur, Chandivli, Vadala, Andheri, Mankurd, Ghatkopar, Kandivli, Jogeshwari, Mulund and Santa Cruz. MHADA will announce the winners of the housing lottery on August 10, 2016. Bureau Report, Magic Bricks Now.
Meanwhile, in Kolkata, Mayor Sohan Chatterjee presented the Kolkata budget on the 23rd of June 2016. Kolkata Municipal Corporation has now made UAA or Unit Area Assessment System optional while calculating the property tax. The new system is expected to reduce the tax burden on the middle class. However, property taxes could go up in North Kolkata, which is home to ancestral mansions. My colleague Aishwarya Palawal gets us more details.
One of the key features has been the implementation of a policy under which Kolkata citizens can calculate the property tax that they need to pay themselves. This new policy has been brought under UAA or Unit Area Assessment. Now what Unit Area Assessment basically will do is that it will cap the highest level at which people will pay property taxes. Now the range between UAA of the property tax lies between 6 to 20%. Now this is a very optional feature that citizens can avail now, but going forward sources tell us that UAA would be mandatory. Let me tell you what UAA basically is. Now Kolkata as a city has been divided into 7 zones, and going forward people will have to pay property taxes on the locality where the property is and also on the amenities that they can facilitate. Also, this property tax is ranging between 7 to 20%. People expect that taxes in North Kolkata will be hiked because of UAA and middle income will not be affected that much. Now this system is already in place in places like Delhi, Bangalore and Ahmedabad. Another thing that happened was that Mayor Sohan Chatterjee said that ADB or Asian Development Bank has already sanctioned 1300 crore rupees to the city to fix its drainage systems and put in place new sewage systems.
Well, we also spoke to Mr. Nandu Bilani of Bilani Group earlier today to get a better perspective on what this impact will be on the real estate market in Kolkata. Listen in.
I think Calcutta is one of the cities which has suffered in the past many years for rental of commercial properties due to the high taxation that the KMC was charging. Presently the system that exists on any commercial rentals, the KMC charges 40% tax and 20% as surcharge, less they give you 10% for rebate. So the effective tax that we pay on a rental is 54%. So I think this is not feasible for any landowner to pay 54% of the rent he earns as taxes. So I think unitary assessment is a very great move in this direction, in helping the large multinational and international companies to take space on rent. You see, retail is a great opportunity for landowners and real estate developers to leverage their properties on rent and earn. And also, I think Calcutta will get a mix of international companies coming in, which other cities already have, like a Bombay, a Bangalore, a Delhi, which Calcutta was lacking in terms of large retailers coming into the city. And also, if you see the IT international companies would definitely come into the city also if unitary assessment is implemented.
Meanwhile, in news that just come in Mumbai, home buyers have registered an FIR against developer Kamala Landmark for cheating and breach of trust. The FIR names company's promoters Ramesh Jain, Jitendra Jain, Janendra Jain and Ketan Shah. Magic Brick Now's Disha Shah, who has a copy of the FIR, joins us on the phone line right now. Disha, tell us, what does the FIR say? What are you picking up at the moment?
That's right, Amita. In 2012, the FIR says that in 2012, more than 3,000 families had booked flats with Kamla landmark developer. But right now, the FIR has been filed by 2 home buyers against the developer for 2 projects, that is one Atlantis in Bhandup and one Enclave project that is in Mahakali Road. Basically, buyers alleged that they had booked flats in 2012 and where they had paid 90% of the money to the developer. And till date, they allege that if you go at the site, there is no sign of construction in almost those 2 projects. In fact, there's a larger story here, Amita. Not only 2 buyers, but the case here is far more larger, where close to 3,000 families are affected because there are 8 projects across major areas like Bhandup, Kandivali, Andheri, and Mulund, where the builder has taken money from close to 3,000 families, almost 90%, and the projects, the flats priced are between 1.5 to 2 crore rupees. In fact, buyers also allege that the 3 of the completed projects, allegedly, they have no OC, which is also called as the occupancy certificate, and the BMC has also served demolition notice on all these 3 projects. On the remaining 5 projects, buyers allege that the developer doesn't own land in these 5 projects. Not only that, the buyers have been constantly, calling up the builder, trying to get in touch with the builder to get a response on this. But buyers allege that builder is not meeting nor responding to any of their queries. In fact, they also say that builder has appointed bouncers in office to ward off buyers. So clearly the case is bigger. Not only this, buyers also tell Magic Bricks now that they plan to file multiple FIRs against builder in different locations. So we will have to wait and watch for the same.
Of course, we'll have to wait and watch, and we'll keep a very close track on this case. Of course, thank you for those details, Disha. Moving on. Magic Bricks Now editor Faye D'Souza caught up with Satish Magar, the chairman and managing director of Magarpata Township, in an exclusive interview on Concrete Dialogues. Magarpata Township chief tells Magic Bricks Now how he successfully implemented a mammoth land pooling project working in tandem with the farmers in Pune. In fact, many believed it was an impossible task to pull off. Also, exclusive insight on project delays and the regulator for real estate. Here's a sneak peek.
We are in a bad phase of the market, but this is not the only one you've seen. You've seen several cycles of the real estate market in India. Do you believe that the way RERA has been drafted so far and the Maharashtra government is working on its rules for the, I understand, next 15 days or so we'll see something, is it too harsh? Is it in the right spirit? Should there be something that's re-looked at?
Yes, it has to be, because there are 2 aspects which have not been very strongly covered into that. Number 1 is the sanctioning authority. You put me under all the scrutiny, you put me with all the handcuffs around, you tie my legs, you tie my hands, and you ask me to swim, and then you have the authorities who can take their own time. Why they should also be under the purview? Because if everyone has a time-bound process, I think it works. Today, all the municipal corporations, the government, under the ease of doing business, under various factors, is looking at doing things very, efficiently. But I still feel that if they would have also come under that scare of RERA, things would have been much better. And also the customers, I mean, they are our customers, they are our God, customers, you are God. But even they should pay on time.
Yeah. No, but I mean, RERA talks about sort of equalizing the interest rates on both sides. So if the customer delays or the developer delays.
But see, what happens is, if the customer delays, it is more hitting than the developer delaying it, because you have to pay only to one person, but there's so much of development happening. But fine, equal to equal, it doesn't make a difference. At least they'll be level playing.
So you think that just bringing approvals under the purview of the regulator is the only thing that needs to be? What about the escrow account?
Escrow, if they can, they are talking about 70% escrow, and that also, there are still talks going on whether it's going to be cost of construction, whether it's going to be total cost, what you can take out. So you need to take out some money which you have spent for the land, because you have to refurbish land, you have to get more land. So that investment process has to be much before you start project. 4 or 5 years horizon is required, where you have to put in the money, and when the land can get cleared and all these things, because land titling is still not an issue, it's a big issue with us. So getting the approvals, environment clearance you cannot get within 2 years. The approvals take time. So there's a 4-5 year horizon which is required. So that money needs to be taken out. I think if they can work on the cost of construction basis, it would do much better.
So our sources are telling us that the Maharashtra government is in fact considering 70% cost of construction and not 70% of the total project. So you haven't heard anything to that effect. But you're saying if it does happen, that'll be good.
I will feel good about it.
You feel good about it. Okay.
Because we work in such stressful conditions. If that thing comes, it will be distressed a little bit.
But the other very present problem that we are facing in this market is that of delays. It's more so in the NCR region. We have a couple of cases in Pune, several cases in the MMR region as well. What advice would you give customers right now who are waiting for possession of their homes? Is it consumer court? Is it talk to the developer? Is it CREDAI's consumer grievance cell? What should they do?
I would go in, a 3-pronged strategy. Number one, speak to a developer first. There may be a problem. I mean, most of us are not fly-by-night operators. We also have a reputation to keep, so we can't, expect things to go wrong. If it is not solved, then you go to CREDAI, because we have a consumer redressal cell in CREDAI. Go to CREDAI as the second phase, where if the developer is a member of CREDAI, most of us are members of CREDAI, so we will help. CREDAI will help. And if you are still not satisfied with this problem, then the third force, you go to the court, because once the matter becomes survivorless, everyone takes their hands out. Now, CREDAI will not intervene. The builder says, let the court decide. The consumer says, I will fight it out in the court. And it's just going to go into a spin.
Shifting focus to Bengaluru now, if you're a citizen of Bengaluru, the money that you pay as taxes is not managed well by your civic body, says a recent study by Bengaluru-based NGO Janagraha. Now, the survey analyzes 3 civic bodies: Bengaluru Development Authority or BDA, Water Board BWSSB, and Transport Corporation BMTC, and ranks them below 50% out of a scale of 0 to 15. Now, why are we telling you this on Magic Bricks now? Because the corporations are spending your hard-earned money, and on this channel, we believe that you have a right to expect efficient services from your civic body. Of course, we also caught up the man who came up with this report, Shrikant Vishwanathan of Janagraha, and he tells us why the civic bodies have low rankings when it comes to financial governance. Listen in.
The background of the study that we've done now is that Bangalore civic agencies are not financially well governed, and that is impacting their ability to raise adequate funds to invest in service delivery and infrastructure improvements in the city. While the BBMP has been under public scrutiny over the last several years on its financial management, we believe the civic agencies have escaped attention, especially BMTC, BDA and BWSSB. So that's been the purpose of this report. Our findings reveal that on a scale of 0 to 15, while BMTC just about scores, you could say a pass mark of 40% at 6, BDA and BWSSB come behind at 5 and 4 respectively, implying therefore that the quality of their financial management is quite poor and requires significant improvement. We've essentially looked at budgetary discipline, we've looked at the quality of their audit of annual accounts, we've looked at internal audit, we've looked at their financial performance, and we've looked at the extent of transparency and citizen participation that they allow for. These are the 5 broad heads, and the 15 questions are sort of fitted into these 5 broad heads. Bangalore is today India's largest municipal corporation. It has seen the highest population growth from the early part of this this century. Population has grown at above 40%, and Bangalore's economy is also fairly strong, has been growing at a fast clip, which means jobs are getting created, more number of people are coming here seeking employment, etc. So infrastructure is under severe strain, but the worry and therefore the focus that we're trying to bring is the fact that you certainly need larger amounts of money to be invested in infrastructure and public service delivery. At the same time, we need to make sure that the money is well spent to meet the intended outcomes. Both of these can happen only if our institutions are financially well governed.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Property News on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you for watching.
On our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.